Hello, trading has closed on Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. As always, we'll do our disclaimer first. We'll go over our calls. We'll make some predictions. So my trading plan for tomorrow, which is Wednesday, the 26th of April, 2023. Please remember, it's a prediction. I can change it. I can be wrong. Any trade you make should be at your own risk. If you want some additional help, there's a freebie for viewers of my channel. David will analyze the market in real time, free. No credit card, no registration. Type this out, be there on time, and enjoy. Well, we look for the pattern with the early high, which is this. Tomorrow's pattern should have the early low. We had a price target of 41.2558 that printed, and there was resistance over that price. We said that we should have a large move. We got that. We said if we gapped and promptly undercut this low and preferably this one, which we had, that we should see lower prices. And I said if that didn't happen, I really didn't have a plan, but fortunately for me that happened, so the plan was put into effect. Now we have a new target from today's patterns, 4,097.07. If we don't gap down smartly, that's my call for tomorrow. This is a review of what we said. We said the ideal situation. We need to gap, promptly undercut today's low. That was yesterday. And preferably Friday's low. And if that happens, we should begin a sizable drop. And that's what happened. MEJT is not impressed by this. It says we're going to see 4,097.07 by tomorrow. This is a very suspicious pattern. You drop all day long, go into an hours-long funk, and you can't sustainably break to a new low, and there's a higher target saying it's not for keeps. And then with half an hour left to trade, you have a wall of selling into the close. You can bet your life it's not professional, so wait till the last half hour to sell with abandon. Well, this doesn't have to gap up tomorrow, but if that's a false move, you would expect it to gap up, and futures are already up smartly. And if we do gap up, it means this whole business wasn't the real thing, because any break needs confirmation by trading under the close by 1 cent. And if we do gap up, that break's not going to be confirmed. Well, here's the idea. We think we're in wave gray C. We think this completed gray A, small a of C, and at some point you should complete gray B. Now we'll forget the colors because I don't know what degrees we're in. We'll just go on to the next chart. We'll look at this move up and then the move down. Well, here's the move up. It's a 5-wave structure. We have stopped right in the 4th wave of lesser degree. Doesn't mean we have to stop there, but when you have corrective waves, that's a commonplace for them to stop. And we stopped right at a 1-by-1 Gann fan line from the August high. This is 252 days and 253.9 points, and that's close enough for me. So when you drop down to a line like this in a straight line, my rule is either you gap under the line or the line wins, meaning a break under that line won't stick, but there's more to it than that. This is an upsloping trend line. I have a rule: when you break through out of an upsloping trend line, or any sloping trend line, in a straight line, you return to that line at some point. Doesn't mean you have to go there tomorrow. Doesn't mean you can't go lower first. But at some point we have a target of returning to this line. It doesn't work every time, but it works often enough. Sometimes you only return to the point where it broke, but usually you're going to return to this line at some point. So let's take a look at how to count this from the top. Well, this was my old count. I had this as 1 and this as 2. I was looking for a wave 3, but that's a 3-wave structure. 3-wave structure means it isn't a wave 3. So we have to get out our erasers and come up with some other count. Hopefully it'll be pretty. This one's as pretty as it gets. If that's A and that's B, that's C. And if A is 78.6, C is 100 right on the nose. And if you look inside A, B, C is equal to A. You look inside B, B, C is equal to A. And you look inside wave C, blue C, you set magenta A equal to 38.2. If I can do it, I will. Well, it worked before. It's probably close enough that you're at 2.618 at C today. So this is the kind of thing zillioticians look for when they try to call tops. It doesn't mean it'll work. It doesn't mean some other count won't work. But at least there is a count justifying the low right here, along with the wall into the close, along with the GAN fan line, and the retreat into the fourth wave of lesser degree. Remember, I might not post every day this week, and tomorrow's a busy day. I have a lot of things on my schedule. I'm not certain I'll be able to post tomorrow. I'll try, but if there's no post, I won't be surprised. Well, tomorrow's pattern is really low. We could still gap up. There's a higher MEJT target. Unless we gap down smartly, the rules call for it to print, and such a gap up is entirely possible. The high of day was the first 5-minute bar, and the low of day in the last. It's a fairly reliable indicator that a lower price will print tomorrow, regardless of how we close. However, like any indicator, if it fails big. We have a straight line drop from an ascending trend line. That needs confirmation by trading under today's close by 1 cent. Doesn't look like it's going to happen as I'm writing this. There's no confirmation the break doesn't count. My work says nearly always we return to that trend line. Doesn't mean it happens tomorrow. We dropped the support from the GAN fan line, a fourth wave of lesser degree, and a completed ABC down. NASDAQ McClellan oscillator is very far under its lower Bollinger Band. If it reverses up through the band tomorrow, it gives a buy signal. These things don't stay under their lower band by that much for that long. Breadth has not collapsed on this drop, and far too many people are calling for a crash. If we're going to crash, expect no one to call for it. Bears need to gap under today's low to keep the decline going without interruption. Futures are up smartly, so there's a significant chance today's decline was a false break. Now, trying to catch the falling knife like this is always a dangerous thing, but I'm going to try. Just remember, I call things a day at a time, and if I am wrong, I'm only wrong for a day. But if we don't gap down smartly, I'll look for 4,097.07, and if I'm right about this being the end of wave B, we could have a wave C up and reverse all of today's losses. And that is today's call.